Well, good morning, welcome to the start of June's vlog. Oh, not a great start to June's vlog, gotta say. Left home this morning at 2:45, because I wanted to be at the lake for first daylight, even before daylight, see where the fish and everything are. Got the dog and everything loaded up, heading down the M11 towards the M25. M11's closed for roadworks for the next 2 weeks. So we get diversion signs, fine, start following diversion signs, gets you onto the A120 and then there's no more signs. So quickly put into the sat-nav directions to here, and whilst I'm not convinced I'm going the right way, I follow the sat-nav, and ultimately it takes me through back street and yonder through to Watford and onto the M25 at Watford. Then I'm back on my route, but ultimately it's taken 30 minutes longer than the journey should have done. And in my head there's a new northwesterly wind coming in today, which should push the fish down into the shallow end. So ideally I'd be going in the shallow end, but when I get here I can see there's one guy in Right Social. I can see there's a guy opposite in, I'm not even sure what swim he's in. And then as I walk down the lake I can see Steve is in, just setting up in Willows. So Steve has got here at 5 o'clock, and same as me. Hope to get in the same spot, and when he saw 2 cars in a car park he expected one of them to be in there, but no, they weren't. So had a walk around the lake, came into the swim I'm in now, and stood at the edge, and 8 fish swam past within 2 feet of the bank. Bear in mind we don't see that many fish on here, not that close in, so I earmarked this swim. And there was one of the bailiffs up in the next swim along, which, although it's only 30 yards along from here, you cannot be fishing this water from that swim, because it's 30 yards of overhanging trees and snags in the water. So, and generally that swim fishes out to the right, whereas this swim fishes out to the left. So I briefly spoke to the guy. He doesn't like me and I don't like him. Let's just leave it at that. So it was a very brief conversation, and I'll walk on. Did a whole circuit of the lake, never found any other fish. So got my gear, stopped back off with Steve, spoke to him for 10 minutes, said, right, I'm going to go around the other side, going to drop in this swim, the Secrets it's called, because I've seen fish here, and give that a go. He's like, yeah, good call. So I come around here, bearing in mind the bailiff pulls off at 7 o'clock he just does overnights and pulls off at 7. So creep into the swim, start setting my rod up behind me, and the bailiff comes over, has a right hissy fit. Without going into too much detail, it got into a pretty heated exchange, and I think we both know where we stand now. And yeah, he went off to work and I'm in this swim now. Since then, and I stopped counting, I stood at the edge with a dog sat next to me. 22 fish went past me heading down that way where the wind's blowing, and ironically then domino went the other way heading up out of there. And generally the fish are going up and down in front of me, down to that end and back again. What I am worried about is whether or not they're actually getting ready to spawn. They're certainly not spawning at the moment, but they are starting to group up. So this 48-hour session could end up on pulling off tomorrow morning. It could end up on pulling off tonight if they start spawning. Fingers crossed they don't, and the fish gets its head down and feeds. So although I've not set anything up, I've hardly unpacked anything, just in case they start spawning today. But I'm not moving swims, I'm happy in this swim. The fish are travelling up and down the area. So I'll update the vlog probably tomorrow morning, or if something's happened or they've started spawning and I'm pulling off, I will update it tonight. So yeah, catch up with you later. Well, good morning. early rise this morning. It's yeah, it's 5:30 now, and yeah, going to have a quick pack up. It's the fish started spawning a couple of hours ago, so we'll all be off and the lake will be shut for a couple of weeks now. You can probably tell I'm on the well, you can't tell, I'm on the opposite side, but I'm in a different swim. I'm actually on the opposite side from where I was yesterday. Fish kept passing that spot probably up until about 11 o'clock yesterday. Then by 11 o'clock, probably half the fish in the lake were at the bottom end, the shallow end, where Steve is. But all the time I had been there, also fish had been showing just in front of this swim, so which is dead opposite where I was. So I've come around to this swim and set up here. I mean, Steve spent 8 hours yesterday stalking fish. At one point we were both up a tree watching fish over his baits, and they would be over it but turning away, ignoring it, and like I say, fair play, stuck at it for 8 hours and finally had one at 23.5 pounds, a lovely mirror, so that was really good. In my swim, I mean, not a lot happened. It wasn't the greatest fishing trip I'm ever going to have. As I say, yesterday didn't start well. Came around here, found the spot where the fish had been showing, and got a marker on a spot, presented the bait tight to the marker or the rig, baited up that spot beautifully, and thought that's good for a run. And then just before dark, a pike went through the line and bit it off, so everything was out in the water and not connected to the rod anymore. So you know, did the best at getting back on that spot, but conscious there's a rig out there as well anyway. So yeah, that's really how the session ends for me. No fish and packing up early. Hopefully you won't have too much traffic going home, so that might be a bonus. I don't know fishing wise where I'll be next. Obviously, as I say, this lake will be closed now for 2 weeks, but with the M11 going to be closed for 2 weeks at nights anyway, I wouldn't want to be doing that journey I did yesterday to get here. So yeah, I'll be out somewhere updating the vlog, and yeah, see you then. Well, good morning, welcome to the vlog. Find me up on Braxton Reservoir this morning. Got here 5:45 today, only 2 other cars in the car park. A couple of guys were just about to come up here to do some course fishing for the day, and the other chap had just gone on to the back lake down the bottom. I went and had a chat with him, and there was no one else here, so a bit like last time, I spent half an hour just watching the front lake and back lake to see if any fish showed, and nothing showed. So I thought I'd come up here this morning, try and get a run on the video, maybe get a shot of playing the fish or a video of playing the fish, and then this afternoon go back down like I did last time on the front lake and give that a go for one of the better fish. So yeah, came up here this morning. I'm in the first swim and there's a new wind hacking into this corner. One fish showed, only a small fish, while I stood here, so I left the trolley here, had a walk up the other end, or about 3/4 of the way up, really to that swim 5 that I like fishing, but the guys course fishing had dropped up there. So came back down here and another fish showed. So I know 2 spots, 12 wraps out and 9 3/4 wraps out, so 40 yards and 50 yards roughly. Spotted some bait out on those 2 spots, and whilst I was doing it, a fish showed right in the corner. So quickly set up a rod, put a solid PVA bag on it, flicked it out in that corner, and the next hour I've had 5 fish on that rod. It's just been mad. I couldn't even get the second rod out, so the baited spots were doing nothing. The fish were in that corner, and yeah, not big fish. The first one 16 pound, the other similar size, one was probably only 12 pound, all spawned out, little common. I may have had one of the takes on the video because I quickly put the phone down there and tried to catch it, but I've not checked back. And I did just hold one of the fish up whilst the video was running. And again, I've looked back at that, chopped my head off, but I may just put that in just to show you the sort of size of fish I was getting this morning. And I've had it before on this lake, up in swim 5, where there's a mad hour in the morning and then fish stop showing, which they've done now, and nothing happens. So be interested to see what happens. I know when it's happened before, lunchtime, then I've had another little 20-minute spell where I've had 2 or 3 fish, and then that's it till the evening. As I say, really I want to just come up here, try some different things. I mean, having watched the fish feed on the syndicate, I think they're perhaps picking the lead up or picking the bait up, gently moving. I mean, most people fish 6 to 8 inch rigs, and I wonder if they're just backing off slightly and feeling the lead. So what I want to try today is a running lead and see what effect that has on takes. Now unfortunately, obviously the solid bags are a fixed lead, so I haven't had a chance to get a run on the running rig, but I've got the running rig out now. I just want to see what sort of takes you get on them, if anything, you know, assuming the fish feed, because it's something I may try on a syndicate. If the fish pick up the rig on the running rig, in theory they shouldn't feel the resistance of the lead. That's the plan today, so fish up here for a bit, up until lunchtime probably, then go down on the bottom lake. So I'll either update the vlog later on today or this evening, just before I'm packing up. We'll just play it by ear, see what happens. Okay, see you later. Alright, little update for you now. I'm on the front lake now, so bit of a manic morning up on the res. It ended up 8 carp, 1 lost, 7 tench. Every carp to the solid PVA bag today. Anything else was just tench. Didn't matter what colour boilie was in the PVA bag, as long as it was just popped up off the bottom, they were getting in on the pellet, sucking it all in and getting nailed. Yeah, at one point, no rods in the water. I actually put I had a take, put the GoPro on my head because it was ready to go, to do a little footage of bringing the fish in, and it turned out I was bringing the tench in. Whilst I was bringing the tench in, the other rod went, and there was a carp on there, so quick got the tench in the edge, left that rod in the water with the tench on it, and started playing the carp. And to be honest, I was bullying that one, and it was probably the smallest carp that I had all day had I landed it, because in the end the hook pulled out, which I'm sure when I check back I've actually got footage of that, so I might stick it in here just for a bit of fun. But yeah, it's you know, it was a good morning up there, but I don't need to be up there longer than that, and I've probably stayed up there too long, to be honest. 5 fish in the first hour, maybe I should have come down here, but we're down here now. There's only one other person on the front lake, and these are match fishermen practicing. There's a match on here Sunday, sorry. So he's just doing a few hours and then he's off. So I can't find any fish, haven't seen any fish. So I've just come on the wind, really, hoping like the res, the fish are following the wind. So it's the same swim I was in the other week when I came on here and had the aborted take and then got breamed out. So I'm definitely not putting any pellet in this week. I'll update the vlog later. It would be nice to update it halfway through the afternoon with the fish, but if I don't catch anything I'll just update it just before I pack up. Pretty much going to sit up here till 10 o'clock, but a bit like last time, I'll probably wrap it up a bit earlier. Once the light starts getting a bit dark, the picture quality isn't that good on the GoPro, so we'll see. Catch up with you later on. Hopefully we've had a fish. Okay, here we go. Let's wrap up today's vlog then. It's 8:30 now, so yeah, about an hour and a half till got to be off the lake. Yeah, came down here, amazingly had a tench. Yeah, I've seen carp, which has been promising. They're in the area, but whether they're feeding or not is another thing. But as I say, I had a tench earlier on. So that's 8 tench I've had today. The good thing is every tench I've had has been on the running lead or running rig, whatever you want to call it. So my concerns about the hooking qualities of that using on a syndicate for the carp have been put to rest, basically. You know, tench are definitely more finicky than carp generally at feeding, and I've had 8 tench all on that rig, so or all on that lead setup. So yeah, be happy to use that when I go to the syndicate next. What else this afternoon? Had a nice display. Ducks got more ducklings than I've ever seen a duck have, so it's been backwards and forwards, going through my lines a couple of times, but hey, that's life. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next week fishing wise. It's I mean, the river's open. When did I open? 4 days time, 5 days time, and I mean, it's bad enough I've got 2 syndicates. I've not even been to the one in Peterborough yet. How to go on that? Obviously I've got my club lakes. I've got a stretch of river ooze in Olney for some perch fishing, and I never got there last year even though I paid the membership. So and obviously I've got my stretch at Coalport of the River Severn for the Barbel, and I've also got a stretch at Shrewsbury to fish this year. So yeah, with the rivers opening up, I've got far too many waters to go to. Going forward, I'll probably cut that down next year, because it's ridiculous to have all those tickets and in 2 minds where to go all the time. So I'm not even going to predict where I'll be next week fishing, but I'll be somewhere, and obviously updating the vlog. As I always say, if I do get a fish before I go, I'll insert something in here. So yeah, see you somewhere next week. Well, good morning, welcome to next update on the vlog. I said I didn't know where I'd be next time I spoke to you. Original plan this morning was to go up on the River Ouse and do some perch fishing now the rivers are open, see if I can get this £2 perch I'm after. However, we have had 24 hours of almost non-stop rain, and checked the river, and it was showing that it was rising up in Olney where I would have gone. And then about 8 o'clock last night, the club who run that stretch of water put an update to say the river's up 8 inches and the swims are starting to get flooded already. So that put the mockers on that. So I really wasn't sure, even when I got up this morning, where I was going to go. So ummed and ahed. I didn't fancy going up on the reservoir. Just didn't see a challenge in going up there, knowing I'll probably catch 10 fish, and if I'm lucky one of them would be a 20. So I went and looked at a lake nearer home. It's yeah, only 7 miles from home on the club ticket, but the mud was just, it was just ridiculous. It was probably up to your ankles in mud. So I aborted that plan without even walking more than a few steps out of the car park. And there's another lake just over the road from there, and thought I'd give that a go, and that again was really muddy. So jumped back in a car and thought, right, let's go over to Braxted. And all the way driving here, I just didn't fancy going up on the res. I know I'm going to catch fish up there, there's no challenge. So got here and spent an hour looking at the front lake and the back lake. There's only 6 cars in the car park. Back lake's got no one on it at all, and the front lake has 1 person on it, which is a bailiff who's up the other end of here. So I spent 10 minutes talking to him. John, I've spoken to him before, and even he said, you know, he normally does well on this lake. He's only had 5 fish all year out of the front lake. So he said it's fishing tough, and I was saying, yeah, I've yet to have a fish out of here. So I decided to come down. I was going to fish the swim that I normally fish in the afternoons, which is 1 swim down from me. But when I'm in there, I do see fish on the far margin occasionally. If I spin the camera around, and yeah, you can get tight in there and still get a drop on the lead. It's probably 3 or 4 foot, I'm guessing, but you feel the lead down and you get a donk. It's pretty clear over there. So that's where I've got 1 rod, and I've got 1 rod close in by the lily pads that I actually fish from the other side. So there are my spots on here. Ironically, 2 people walked by and asked me, is this the front lake? I said, yeah. They said, oh, is it good for fish? Because they're new to the club, been 2 weeks running up on the res and blanked. So yeah, I basically said to them, I gave them 4 swims that I fish regularly. Gave them my spots, told them how many wraps out, how to bait it up, and yeah, hopefully they don't blank up there. So if there's such thing as carp karma, maybe I'll catch a fish today, and for giving them my spots up there. Yeah, I've said before, people have said to me, oh, it's easy up there and you always catch loads of fish, but people do blank up there. Those 2 people are an example, and people do struggle 1 or 2 fish. So, you know, which isn't a struggle. Some lakes 1 or 2 fish is really good, but up there you just need to find the spots and put the bait in and the fish will come. But anyway, that's enough from me today. As I say, there's 2 of us on this lake at the moment, no one on the back lake. The gear is just, it's probably there. I just fish off the barrow when I'm day fishing. So if I see something or I want to move, I can have a move. So whether I'm still here when I update the vlog later in the day or just before I go home, we won't say. I'll say if I catch fish or update the vlog as the day goes on. If I don't, it'll be just before I pack up. Speak to you later. Well, time to wrap the vlog up. Yeah, been quite an eventful day today. Finally got the monkey off my back of not ever caught a carp from this lake. Had one at 10 o'clock this morning. A pretty spawned out, skinny 17-pound 2-ounce common. So no, hope to catch. There's some good fish in this lake, and certainly was hoping when I did catch a fish it would be an upper 20 or one of the 30s, but nonetheless had a fish, got off the mark, so that's good. Then about 11 o'clock had a run on the same rod again, and unfortunately pulled out of that carp. I'm fishing locked up against some snags, so you have to bully them a bit out of the snags, and yeah, just the hook pulled. And then I've just continued fishing today. Had another one this afternoon, 16.5 pound, and I've also had 7 tench today as well, so the tench have taken a liking for my bait. I don't know what else to say about the day really. There was at one point there was 5 of us on here. I'm the only one here now. The last person to leave was John the bailiff. He's gone already. He lost one this morning but didn't catch anything, and the other 3 guys unfortunately didn't catch. So for once I was in the right swim, and I'm the one who's caught on this lake, so that was good. Going forwards next week, don't know where I'll be again. I can only do one day again next week, no nights. I'd like to probably go up to the river, do some barbel fishing, but it just depends. I'll keep an eye on river levels as the week goes on and temperatures, and make a decision as and when the week goes on. But I won't leave it till Saturday morning like I did this week. Anyway, that's it for this vlog, and see you on the bank somewhere next week. Thanks for watching. Well, morning, welcome to the vlog. Yeah, up on Coalport, barbel fishing. Well, that's the plan. Really good journey up here, quickest journey I've ever done, 2.5 hours. Short of breaking the speed limit, you're never going to get it quicker than that. It's 175 miles, so well happy with that journey here. Dropped into a swim that I've fished before. I've always caught barbel when I've fished in this swim. I've never seen it so low. It's always been quite high the water when I've been here, but 3 steps closer to the water than normally. Normally I'm sat back there fishing and casting over to the same sort of spots that I'm in now. But yeah, the water's down nice and low, and to be honest I wouldn't normally come fishing this early in the year on the rivers, but I've kept an eye on the water levels all week, and they've just been consistent. The temperatures are up, they're sort of 12 degrees. The barbel feed once it's over 10 degrees. So yeah, I just felt I've only got a day, let's come up here, have a long day up here. Or if I get a good hit of fish, have a short day up here if I catch them early. As always on here, I don't necessarily plan to be in this swim all day. I'll give it probably, well, I got here at 8 o'clock, it's 9 o'clock now. I walked down to the swim, started baiting up the spot, put out 6 catapults full of ground bait with various pellets and oils in it, on the one on the far margin and one so as when your line comes around you're fishing in the middle of the river, and they're the 2 spots I'll concentrate. I'll do every 20 minutes I'll put another ball out on each spot, and probably recast every 20 minutes as well with I've got feeders on there, 4-foot hook lengths, got a boilie on one, little 12mm krill boilie on one, and a little halibut pellet on the other one. Well, not little, 8mm halibut pellet on the other one. So we're fishing and hopefully get some fish today. As I say, we'll see what happens, and I may not stay in this swim, unlikely to stay in the swim. I very rarely stay in the same swim for a day on here. Certainly if you go a mile up the river, the swim's in the mid-70s. I'm in peg 22 now. Swims 73 to 76 are really shallow gravel patches over the back of the river, and in the summer I've had barbel off those spots, so it may be that I move up there later on if the spots are free. But yeah, we'll just have a play around, and I'll update the vlog probably when I've moved swims or I had a fish or something, and we'll take it from there. So yeah, I'll speak to you later on. Okay, welcome back. So as you can see from the background, I'm in a different swim as I thought I would be this morning. It was a hard morning in that swim. I was getting lots of little touches and flicks, but no actual bites. At 10:15 I had a vicious take on one of the rods, but there was nothing there when I hit it, and wound in, half the boilie had gone. Given it's only a 12mm boilie, so that never left a lot of boilie on there. How that didn't get hooked, I don't know. So I came to the conclusion that maybe they were little chub and that, all the little indications I was getting. So I just changed the rig, put a shorter hair on, and changed the bait as well to luncheon meat with it tight against the shank of the hook. Re-put that out, nothing happened first cast. Cast it again about 15 minutes later, had a big knock, struck into, I thought was a small chub, and it wasn't coming in like a chub, but it didn't feel like a barbel. It's just too small, to be honest, it felt. And long story short, when I saw it, it was a small barbel. So landed that, and normally I would have just tipped it back and not taken any pictures, but it had a little blue spot on its belly, and that was, and I can't remember if it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, the club released a load of little barbel into the River Severn on this stretch, and they all had a blue dye dot on their belly, and if you catch one you're meant to photograph it and weigh it. So that's what I did, and that was 1 pound 6 ounces. It's yeah, really small, not really what I'd came for. Probably the smallest barbel I ever catch, but there you go. And then probably half hour later I had a chub, same rod, about 3 pounds. So again, not what I'm here for, but at least something was feeding. And at that point I thought I'll probably move swims, and another chap came up walking past me with his gear, so I had a chat with him. He said he'd been in swim 79 since 5:30 this morning, and he'd had one fish, a 2 pound barbel. He also said all the 70s have got people in them. Remember this morning I said I'd go up to probably 74, 75, because I've done well on there at this time of year as shallow water. But yeah, he said not one of them's had a fish, so decided that wasn't a good move, and just stayed in the swim I was in for probably too long. Stayed there till about 12:30, and then moved up into this swim, which is swim 52. Very precarious swim. My rods are 4 meters down from me, and yeah, if I didn't have a dog spike and a rope, you wouldn't be able to fish this swim, and there are quite a few swims on the Severn like this, which is why I've got the rope and spike. So as I say, without it you wouldn't be fishing this swim or a lot of the swims on the Severn. So yeah, I've tried everywhere in this swim. Initially I came in here because there's a little sandbar, only a little flick out, and there was small carp, there was small barbel going up and down that sandbar. So that's where I've been fishing initially, and then since then I've been feeding an inside line. I've put a rod on there, nothing's happened. And yeah, it just basically doesn't seem to matter what I'm doing today, I can't nail the fish. So I'm going to pull off a bit earlier than I normally would. It's only 5:30, so time I'm in the car it'll be 6 o'clock, and yeah, at least I'll get home a reasonable time. So, and that wraps up June, I think, because it's, yeah, I think 1st of July is Wednesday, so it's Saturday today, so I won't go again. It's not been a bad month. We've had a few carp, yeah, we've had a little barbel and a little chub, so yeah, not a bad month really. July, it's certainly next week again. I can only do one day and a day only, not a night, so I'll probably be local, and then the week after I'm back on the syndicate, so that'll be 4 weeks since I've been there, but not a lot's been caught in that time. I think it's 7 fish, of which 3 are recaptures, and you know, none of the A-team with the exception of one, which I think was a sergeant, which is the 3rd time it's been out. So yeah, hopefully when I get back there something will feed that hasn't been caught. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching again this month. We're up to 70 subscribers, averaging 250 views a month. So yeah, a year on, this is the 12th vlog, end of the 12th vlog. So I'll continue doing them for at least the rest of this year, and see how we go. Okay, so see you on the bank next month.